It was a cold February day, about 4.5 years ago. I walked into the grounds of Severno Park High School with Michael Lent and John Michael DiStefano. We've been talking about it for weeks. We were finally ready to start. We were the first. We were the cowboys in the Wild West. We were strangers in a strange land. There was no one to help us. The only guide we had were some videos in French, some crappy pictures from Germany, and a few articles in broken English. We walked into the quad, but I was working into the first day of the rest of my life. This was my first day of parkour. Eventually, we ended up finding two other groups in our area who trained. We all combined, started to train together, and we ended up with 5 people. Mike Lent, Mike Mepps, John Michael DiStefano, Corey Cuthbert, and me, Zachary Cohn. The 5 of us trained together, and we trained hard. We didn't have MTV's Ultimate Parkour Challenge telling us how to train. We didn't have Demon's Drills telling us how to condition. We didn't even have Daniel Olbaka teaching us that all we had to do was decide not to fall. What we did have were a few quotes from Long Dead Frenchmen, some poor quality videos, some crappy pictures, 5 very different backgrounds, and 1 passion. We took George Herbert's quote, "Be strong to be useful," to heart, and we spent our days conditioning. We spent them crawling, jumping, and running. We ran gauntlets, a non-stop series of workouts and exercises that could last for hours. We didn't have any sort of fitness certifications. We didn't have any sort of knowledge of functional workout programming. But we did know if we worked hard, we'd get stronger. And we did. It was a strange feeling to watch people's progression. They'd fail out after a quarter of the warm-up, but then they'd make it to half. And then they'd make it through the whole thing, just barely. And then eventually, they'd get to the point where they're just going through the warm-up. They're laughing, they're playing, they're talking, they're having fun. No trouble whatsoever. People were getting stronger, and people were getting better. We all parted ways at the end of the summer to head off to college. When I came up here to Rochester, as far as I know, I was the only person who seriously trained in the entire upstate New York area. Once again, I was the first, a cowboy. But this time, I had the tools to start a new community. I took this chance to start a new community, and I made sure that it grew up right. I quickly established myself as that parkour guy in a variety of clubs, and eventually we started to hold regular practices. At first, our sessions took the form of classes, with me leading pretty much everything, as the only person who really knew what they were doing. But as a few other people started to get serious about it and started training on their own, we eventually decided to make it less structured and more like the open jams that we have today. Charlie and Jeff were the first to really take it seriously and start to step up and become leaders. And we wouldn't be where we are today without them. As more people started to step up, we held more and more events and more jams. Our first beginner's workshop was a huge success. Our first Leave No Trace workshop was a huge success. We've since had another beginner's workshop with over 100 people showing up. That makes it the biggest beginner-focused event in the United States. A few weeks ago, we had another Leave No Trace jam. We picked up over 70 bags of trash. I think that makes it the biggest Leave No Trace jam that's ever happened in the United States. And in parkour history. We've gone from a single person to an entire community. We have some of the largest regular jams in the country. We have a truly diverse makeup, from young kids to adults from both genders. We also have some of the coolest spots. The architect who designed Manhattan Park, Lawrence Halprin, frequently boasted that it was his favorite. The thing that makes parkour different from just jumping around off of things is what it means. I've gotten stronger through parkour, and I've met some amazing people. But more than that, I've learned a lot about life. I've learned a lot about community. I've learned about planning events, dealing with the media, and I've learned about leadership. I'm far more confident now than I ever was before, which is why I'm able to stand up here in front of you all today and give this speech. I used to be terrified of public speaking. Anyone who was at the Imagine RT event with Taekwondo a couple years ago know how I botched that. And ever since then I decided, you know what? I need to be better at this. So I started working, and here I am today. They always say that if you mess up a speech, it's not going to kill you. And I think that you don't really truly understand what that means until you've done things where if you mess up, it will kill you. That's what parkour's given me. This is the kind of stuff you can do with parkour. You meet amazing people, you have amazing experiences, and you learn amazing things. I'm graduating this year, so I won't be around for much longer. My ultimate dream is to have this community be self-sufficient. No one needs to send out Facebook messages telling people that, guys, don't forget to come to the jam on Saturday, because everyone knows Saturday is jam day. It's when we always do it, it's when we always will do it. We're just going to show up. No one needs to tell me. I want people to start their own training sessions. I want people to start hanging out with each other outside of training. Become a real community. Become real friends. More than just people who see each other once a week to go jump on things. This community has the power to do fantastic things. We have the numbers, and we have the dedication. All we need are people to stand up, speak up, and do things. This summer, I challenge each one of you to do 4 things. Whether you're staying in Rochester or not, I want you to introduce at least one new person to parkour. I want you to host at least one jam and invite people outside of your immediate circle of friends. I want you to start exploring the areas near where you live to find new training spots. And I want you to host a dedicated Leave No Trace jam, where to pick up any spot you want. If each one of you do each one of these 4 things, that's an entire summer full of awesome events that everyone won't be able to go to all of them. And I think that would be an amazing thing. If you pass this message along to every person who's not here, then that's even more events that are going on. And that would be amazing. I may have started this community in Rochester, but it's up to you guys to keep it alive.
So sexy.